Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
For this is what the Sovereign Lord says.
Why do you need prophets to tell people who you are and what you want?
If you can justify everything that the God of the Bible has done, then you can justify any of your behavior.
A lot of this mentality is trickling into what is now mainstream right-wing Christianity.
I am capable of empathy greater than this God of the Bible.
This is a Bible that they tell kids. This is the good Lord. This is the good book. He is fantasizing about murder, mass murder.
Head over to sacrilegiousdiscourse.com right now to find out how to leave us a review or support us on Patreon.
Hey there, sinners and saints. It's your favorite Bible-bashing duo from Sacrilegious Discourse, and we need your help.
That's right, folks. We're raising funds for some heavenly equipment and a studio that doesn't sound like it's in the depths of hell.
Our current setup, let's just say it's more apocalypse than audiophile.
So if you want to hear us dissect the Bible without the background noise of demonic squirrels, chip in a few bucks.
We're aiming for $5,000 to upgrade our audio and build a studio worthy of blasphemous banter.
Donate today and help us spread the good word of atheism.
You can find a link right on our homepage, sacrilegiousdiscourse.com. Every dollar counts.
Even if it's from your collection plate. Husband!
Wife!
Do you know where we are and how the hell we got here and what happened?
Well, we just got done reading the Hosea. Jesus Christ.
Hosehead.
I was having trouble there. My brain went through the whole litany of fucking prophets that we've gone through, and I was like, wait, no, not that. Hosea, that's the one. Yeah.
You kept trying to say Isaiah for the longest time.
I did. Well, I almost said it just now.
I kept saying Joshua.
Yeah. No, it's Hosea Chapter 7 is what we just got done reading.
And that's why I keep calling him Hosehead.
Right. Well, it is easier with the nicknames, because then they're not as confusing. Well, they're still confusing. But anyway, I digress. That was Hosea Chapter 7 that we just finished. Mm-hmm. And in that chapter, we heard more about how God thinks the Israelites suck. Mm-hmm. And they were working with other people in other countries, and he's like, "You suck," and they were like, "Man, we gotta do our thing." And he's like, "You suck," and he's like, "I'm gonna kill you." And of course, if they just stop sucking, then they can be redeemed, and they wouldn't suck.
It seems like this is what happened yesterday.
It's basically what happens every time. They suck. He hates them. He kills them. They might be redeemed. He doesn't hate them. He hates them again later, and he kills them again later.
He always chooses
It's just like the same fucking pattern over and over and over and over again. And it's just really, really irritating at this point.
I would be like, can we break up?
Yeah, I at some point, don't you just be like, enough is enough, man?
You're
I'm
never
done.
happy. You keep moving the goalpost.
Right. Just fuck off or something.
Right?
Yeah.
Be big. Go big or go home, right? Is what you want to tell God.
Right.
Say your say and say it loud and proud and, come out to all of us, or go the fuck away and leave us alone. Stop killing us.
Yeah, I feel like they'd be better without him, He doesn't really seem to do much for them.
No.
On a large scale or anything,
right.
So other than he tells them to multiply, have sex and stuff, but just not under the trees out in the high places. Because that's not good.
And never with a girl who's menstruating.
Right. Yeah. That definitely not that.
But sometimes
it's important shit. Sometimes
with your brother's wife.
Yeah, but only in certain cases.
Right.
Yeah.
And every once in a while with your mom.
Sure. Anyway, that was Hosea Chapter 7.
Sure as fuck was.
Which means that today we're getting into
Hosehead Chapter 8.
All right, let's do this.
Okie dokie. All right, so we are hopping into Chapter 8 of Hosehead.
Hosea.
And it's a new little bit. So
it's a new little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's starting fresh. This is
meaning that it's not the same section that we were covering the last 3 episodes or whatever, basically?
Right.
Okay.
That, ran on.
Right. It was the same sub whatever heading thing.
Right. This is a completely new area.
Okay. All right.
Put the trumpets to your lips.
Oh, yeah. Do that. Because, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
An eagle is over the house of the Lord because the people have broken my covenant and rebelled against my law.
that was a lot of things said in a row that don't make any fucking sense.
Right.
I'm sure they must make sense to somebody.
They do.
But not me.
So the eagle is the Assyrians. That was their sign. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So he's saying, you know, sound the klaxon bells, the warning, the sirens, you know.
Right.
Let it be known that the Assyrians is coming. The Assyrians is coming.
I just want to point out, because a lot of people like to point out things in Hosea that relate to the quote-unquote Babylonians. But here we are talking about the Assyrians again in Hosea.
Right.
So these things that they talk about, in my mind, refer to the Assyrians, not the Babylonians, because that was what was impending at the time, was the Assyrians.
Exactly.
Right? And because the same devastation didn't happen with the Assyrians as happened with the Babylonians, people just gloss over the fact that he mentions the Assyrians a whole hell of a lot.
He does. He really does.
I just wanted to point that out, because to me, I'm like, no, he's talking about the Assyrians when we're talking about them being captured and conquered. Right. That's what he thinks is going to happen. So.
Exactly. So he's saying that Assyria has, you know, is on the march. They're coming. And the reason is because the people have broken my covenant.
Of course they
have. And
have.
rebelled against my law.
As always, they always do that.
So now that whole first verse makes perfect sense to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Israel cries out to me, our God, we acknowledge you.
They do, huh?
But it doesn't sound sincere.
I wouldn't imagine it would. No. You know?
But Israel has rejected what is good. An enemy will pursue him. They set up kings without my consent. They choose princes without my approval. With their silver and gold, they make idols for themselves to their own destruction.
As I recall, and this was us going into like the King's, you know, books, like Kings 1 or whatever, there was discussion of how God was just going to let them do their own thing and choose their own kings, which he wasn't happy about. Right. But it was like a thing, right?
Well, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying, but I also see what he's saying. He's like, look, I was not for you guys doing this, and then look, you did it, and
you're making
of course,
bad choices.
Yeah, and then, you know, the second that you go running off to do your own fucking thing, you forget to keep the law. And
I'd also like to point out, though, that a lot of these kings are put into power because of, you know, they're related to each other, right? Not because they're like voted in,
right? And a lot of times it's one nation appointing a leader into another one.
Yeah, like the Egyptians and the Babylonians have all had influence in these things, and I'm sure probably the Assyrians had some influence at some point too.
Yeah, so that makes it interesting, though.
Right.
Samaria, throw out your calf idol. Yeah, do. Throw it out.
Sure.
My anger burns against them. How long will they be incapable of purity? They are from Israel.
They never really came back, so I'm guessing like forever.
Right. This calf, a metal worker has made it. It is not God. It will be broken in pieces, that calf of fucking Samaria.
I'm just curious, who made the ark?
Noah.
No, not that ark.
Oh.
The Ark of the Covenant.
The worker people.
Yeah. Much like that made the calf.
Yeah.
I'm just
worker people
saying.
Yeah.
That people have made things for God too. So
that's okay.
Because maybe, you know, we don't know much about this whole calf thing, right?
Right.
Maybe the calf is the vessel for their God.
Right.
Right. Much like the ark is the throne for their God.
Yeah.
So it could. I don't know anything about the fucking calf. Right. I'm just speaking hypothetically. Right. But on a large scale, why are we getting mad about the calf when we have the ark and we have the crosses and we have all the shit, you know?
I don't know if you noticed this or not, but believers in this particular God seem to have been filled with hypocrisy from day one.
It seems that way, yeah.
They sow the wind and reap the whirlwind. I'm going to be reading that phrase again in just a moment.
Okay.
The stalk has no head. It will produce no flower. Were it to yield grain, foreigners would swallow it up. Now, I have some notes about this. Verse 7, okay?
Sure.
It's interesting because I said so. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
They sow the wind and reap the whirlwind.
Yeah.
Okay? This is considered a proverb which states that works have rewards and actions have consequences. especially that people may face negative consequences for their bad actions.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Several works of fiction have the title Reap the Whirlwind. And I just put down some that we might be familiar with, kind of.
Okay.
So there's a Star Trek book called Reap the Whirlwind by David Mack in 2007.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm not familiar with the book, but I am familiar with the Star Trek series.
Yeah.
There's one called Reap the Whirlwind, and that's a 1989 novel by C.J. Cherry and Mercedes Lackey. It's part of the Sword of Knowledge.
No idea.
Mercedes Lackey I'm familiar with. She's a very prolific and well-known fantasy writer.
Okay.
And then there is the Ronnie Reaps the Whirlwind, and that's a 2000 Doctor Who audio drama.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
okay. All right.
Yeah. I just thought I definitely need to include those because we know those things.
I mean,
we know those fandoms.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Sow the wind and reap the whirlwind. Reap what you sow.
Got it.
You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, if there were grain, we still wouldn't have it because
either
foreigners
it would not
get
grow, or if it does, then the foreigners will get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Israel is swallowed up. Now she is among the nations like something no one wants, for they have gone up to Assyria like a wild donkey wandering alone. Ephraim has sold herself to lovers. Although they have sold themselves among the nations, I will now gather them together. They will begin to waste away under the oppression of the mighty king. Though Ephraim built many altars for sin offerings, these have become altars for sinning. I wrote for them the many things of my law, but they regarded them as something foreign. But dude, you didn't actually write them. Moses did.
No. Well, somebody did. But I don't think Moses wrote all the laws everywhere.
No,
and,
I'm just saying.
He certainly isn't the one that kept them alive in those areas. It was very, it was very, these things were very regional, right? So like, even though if you were worshiping a similar God, Yahweh, right? The idea of what that God is, it's a lot like, even in the U.S., right? We have our areas of the country that kind of worship, this Christian God differently. The South worships a little different than the North does, right? The people in Boston are more Catholic, generally speaking, right? And, there's just different areas of the country that worship this same God different ways. And I can imagine in a time where communication wasn't as accessible as it is today, that it would be even more so that way in those days. So they would seem, even after just a few generations, these areas that weren't even that far away would seem very foreign in how they worship their God. That is hypothetically the same God that you worship. Right. So it would almost be, it would be heretical to them because it's branched so far away in such a short period of time. And it just, that strikes me as how a lot of these problems kind of arise with them having these issues with their neighbors.
It makes me wonder how the early Israelites would get on with the right-wing people today.
Honestly, I don't think that they would even recognize themselves in what it is today.
I don't think that either group would recognize the other as a distant relative.
Yeah, it would. First of all, they would never, the right-wing MAGA cult would never go back to what is religion in ancient Israel, right? Sure. For multiple reasons, and partly because it's not technically Christianity at that point. So that's part of the reason. But also, the people in Israel would be probably horrified at what they have, what they embody and represent. It's just, it's not, it's all about hate and fear mongering, and not that that's not present in the Bible, but it's more for preservation of their society as opposed to division of their society. Right. So.
Well, also too, back then it was group on group a lot. And today there's a lot of individual on individual.
That's very true.
That's very true. It makes it kind of grosser.
Yeah.
All right. So let's finish this up. We are almost at the end.
Okay.
So God's saying, I wrote the things of my law, but them bitches, they don't even read it, whatever.
Right.
Though they offer sacrifices as gifts to me, and though they eat the meat, the Lord is not pleased with them. Now he will remember their wickedness and punish their sins. Boom, bitches.
Okay.
They will return to Egypt. Israel has forgotten their maker and built palaces. Judah has fortified many towns, but I will send fire on their cities that will consume their fortresses. The end.
Judah has.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, earlier in this chapter, the same chapter, we were talking about Assyria.
Mm-hmm.
And we have also read from apologists that this whole prophecy in Hosea revolves around the Babylonian exile because that's convenient for them.
Right.
But and while it doesn't specifically say that these events are going to be the Assyrians doing these things, you wouldn't be talking about Assyria in the same breath as you're talking about these horrible events that are going to occur.
Right.
If you didn't mean for them to be done by the Assyrians. Right. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make any sense to mention them if you're not going to utilize them as that tool. Right. So, and we've talked about this too, where these things that they see are what are coming down the pike. They can see it because we're talking about ancient times where things build up and, you see an army coming years in advance because they can't move as quickly. They got to collect, lines and fortify themselves.
They're able to see the winds of change in government.
Right, right. And if it doesn't come true, the nice thing about the Bible is I guess you can just attribute it to the next disaster. So.
And you can always say that God changed his mind. And,
right.
We prayed hard enough. That, or we sacrificed big enough that,
When you retrofit a meaning after the fact, you can make anything work.
Sure.
That's true about just about anything. Mm-hmm. So it's ridiculous.
It is.
Anyway. I should mention, if you're listening to this today, we actually recorded these episodes early. So we're actually recording this the night before wife is going in for surgery.
On Tuesday morning. But you're going to be hearing this on Wednesday morning.
Mm-hmm. So it'll be the day after. So everybody should stop by our Discord or Patreon or one of our social media accounts and just, wish wife good luck. Or, well, not good luck because it's already happened, but, wish wife a speedier recovery. So.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous, honestly. They're not putting me out for this. They're just going to numb my arm.
Yeah. And stick a metal plate in it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to be like the Tin Woodman. And I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Have to get you an oil can. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, that was Hosea Chapter 8.
Sure as fuck was.
And possibly, I don't want to promise anything because, again, circumstances and surgeries and whatnots. Mm-hmm. But possibly we will be back tomorrow with
Hosea Chapter 9.
All right. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Hey, wife. I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep. We have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.